I was your voice now. I say for today's agenda to us. So, I pay your guest. Ora Kofi-Ameya. You can't Kofi. This is if I don't know any a new patriotic party one. Or can't MPP communication team. No, the idea. Na ni so ade hunu. Ene baby a party ni free baby a party na drone. Ya wo hunu ne say ojiri so ora Kennedy o hena Agyapong lead party na ebeboa. Kofi ana mebo.
Madam.
What call there?
Nyamini hin. Yeah, papa.
But very quick one. Idea na inform me oma who decide this baby a party was say no. Why do you say omo nyina qualify but Ken idi ani mo ebeboa.
Raya machi. Na minchi a ya hwefo na etiefo so nyina. Tia wa onse amanyosem na ye no. Eye dudu amamuo. Na dudu amamuo no ye di nipa na ye. Na answer na ebekwa akoto about 2024 no. Sebi MPP Adaruma ni nyankopa adumunti ye ba TV so no radio so akwa abonte a na fo hia wa manfa kenamba ye nto aba mamu
okay
manfa kenamba ye nto mamu de obe text no o ka kiro na e bia odi nchirimu aba ha ne ha ye to aba wie no mo kan se ye ka kire mu no
ye ka kire mu
manye man san fa na aba ye nto aba ma no anu ni ye di kan de dodo no epe no na mimi Kofi mi gidi ye se also you say the voice of the people is the voice of God. Dodo na omo pen. Eno entin koda. Ebio se o hwe na brabo a wabo a. Broni beka say it aligns with the aspirations and the hopes of many Ghanaians. Mebunu bebre wo ha said the bia wo free from grass to grace. Na asim dompem. Ebusuya ni bi mama ni bi papa ni bi no atiti ni mori mu anenne wa building an empire to himself. Yesusu dua ma babunu ni bebre. Wona mo mo ka say papa we na oye credible. Se bi gidie ewo ni mu se oka oka bia bi se owura Kencity Agyapong eka so be ma wadwuma wa ye bi da. There's a demonstrable record. Da ho e kire se obetini aye. So Kasu ye bebunu obemo abrabo asiya. You can relate to the fact that he has been a good father to his children. And it's a many Ghana no. So net the resources of the state. Obetimi are provided dear meso no pa mensabe come and no didi. Ebio the new patriotic party to me said the bonika ne apathy say when wa bombe wa kame abofono ni sanyoma no nyina na wo party no currently no. It comes from somewhere. Yeah, we backbite each other. Ya can't some for your home. Into a party no ankasa ye ho ye konto kwa. Nemo ye here obia obeka yasemama enam say ebi mo dwen say party no ye ba bemu no ye ni omo endi ni ye. Ye ba bemu no obi wo ho no hia bibi ye ntimi anya ama no ohia kamafo bi wanya kamafo ohia pani bi e mana di nanim no ohia moa bi amba enne omahu obi a onyonyamfo bi a owo party nimu enye sese bi no free baabi no oba party ni ye di atwa ne mfuruma. He is a blue white red person or MPP ni mapa ana enye ono na Ghana fo so omo pe no ana ye MPP fo so owo ye mu ana oye die ntino. I believe strongly abrabo awabo the integrity that he has put on the line, the sacrifices he has made for the party, a lot of the things that he had gone through. He has been embarrassed because of the party. So a party for me can say, you be on MPP ni mapa. No, bet me a G2 my idea. Na you were a Kencity or Agyapong. And into you will be a because there's a candidate to be sold. Yeah. Otherwise, we can align with what he has done. So we find solace in his leadership. And we believe that's what man penia. So Anyama Mekrana Minso beating Ayaman. Islam say, and when you sue and then the buying said the look, Ken is a movement.
A student in buying our kind. Yeah, they can say, you want a mujidi, a trasao. Try when you want a mujidi. Obey to me, and you'll be mujidi, but to try and na what do hamo.
Okay.
But say, in him say the past message, say no, tia. it is different from say okonya ni mujidi
no correct
Ken no ye say no te nisu sa na te
ani ne ban
untimi se sam
dabi
enti enya ve na okonya ni mujidi o no so I gidi na wo de koken no de a ene e obeyam fom so but said you hu no sa no te sa na onyankopon abon
no correct
enti go nya nipa no bebre mujidi ye ni ba ye ho so na
o ba so di asem ba o ba so go fa asem ba
nipa no bebre mujidi ye ba ye ho so no na ya asem enti ya kasi ye nya obi mujidi a eye but etra sa wo betumi de ho ato nipa no so pa sa wo tra gidie no na wo hu se nipa we die sei no te na yet se die akora no
chiri so pa so kora no
sa no te as we will be the contract we were too any more say Ghana first also as much it was in today ni get today
so we share na ni di nkomo ko akira utimu say Ghana da na koma so yipa and that is why you see yeah baby o man na dru no and na me pese me ka say Ken enye edin keke a movement that represents the spirit of the people, the spirit of the zeal and the desire to see Ghana progress. A spirit a pese obema Ghana bebunu any Ghana for Jumaye. A spirit a actually say sebi se nyoma nkoyi enekura na ochine ni da so homa. So it's not just a name that resonates in the homes or households of Ghanaians, but it's a name that represents some kind of force. Jidie ni tumi bia etachi say uti dinu a unya ahoka bi. You are excited about the name, and it's not just again the name. It's the spirit that backs the name, because that spirit, you know, aye juma and then say juma na aye no adansi die wo ho. Enya ade a say bia fe na ye betin na chiri asem. We dey my minister nkan. Abranti bi afa na bedi ako. No see your friend new force. And no buy. Ghana for bebre no apetie no. The anti amana nko nanim say na afa ni ye be hwehwe dia waye. We are yet to find out what he has done. Now, if you can in rhetorics and semantics, then ordinary no can. But in the case of Ken, the one you know ever a dear dance here, the Juma walk from Katamanso area. Now, no, baby, I'm opposite now by your beer. Maybe see me dine no, yes, so mammy. The bush and fort so me who not and me who na mission am me who watch it. No, no, what's out the mobile, no, so that be. Onabo can be a Juma be rubber company be where and then I'm saying me. So you cancel Obama Juma, and then you be a wakusua and homa, no about body, no I can say I'm a doctor, I'm a professor in area philosophy, economy, mathematics that be. We know some more Juma and Juma baby or why. It be a baby amity, and Juma will be. And Ghana has especially to be able to establish a business and maintain it for this number of years. It goes to show your resilience, and it goes to show says here the resources of the states Mawa will be to me at the Aboa Maninya. So for me to re-emphasize, say Papa no you be a Ghana for nation, and that one you can take it away from him. And Yate say a bimo my candidate we say he's the most prepared, he's the most marketed.
Presidential candidate.
Oh yeah, presidential material. Look, Brian, me know in as much as we are journalists, we are political animals. Yeah, champagne baby. Yen kind of Ukrainian yen jintum say the contribution of that candidate to the party, the New Patriotic Party, can never be underestimated. We are born homode. What should I say up MPP asem? And MPP so actually say a penasem. Because in the history of MPP, individual being what your presidential candidate so actually said there's a candidate no watch. In fact, he has been represented more than any person in the New Patriotic Party. Ya dono, ya penasem, and ya huahua no, and you never do pempen subi. Na never Ghana for can say be no in pen. It doesn't matter who he is in the MPP to you. The ye pen no the hwehwe no. O you be o wa kukuduro. Wa ye bi ameye hu. na ye di tumi ni ahode ma na obeka bia ma yen se bi mobrofo omo ni bie okoma omo wo mira empo no mbeye mampeni no mpreso beba be yo mampeni na ebi mu poka se ono kwa wa susu da so beba be yo mampeni eni mpo ni na echi no hwe emoa ode boa me no ka se we bi akoma ho ayarehwe e wo 37 military hospital okọ eye hospital bi na se bi omu hi akade bi e be boa ma otimi yom onwa ayem hyehye amanipa se de kan na yi su ene ne ban Ghana for se nipa no na ye hwehwe no se nipa no na ehia no na de ya akọ ne ye ani gie ne se nipa no owo the new patriotic party mu.
Okay.
That is why I am appealing. I am decided to the new patriotic party.
Me to see obi are qualified, but young people for one better aba.
Dabi.
And no more better aba no MPP for no better aba ni na say baby I don't know any.
And the history is also replete with the fact say it's not about how prepared you are or how marketed you are. It's about what the people want. Oko the United States of America. Now we share Barack Obama at the time no or yeah Abrantie, now Hillary Clinton, who had been in the system for a long time. Democrats can say Abrantie we here no. Or call ye on John McCain, or be or POW, prisoner of war, a senator for long standing. Me no can say no Obama because we lose in Senate seat. But yet Americans said no, this is and do you know what was Obama's claim to fame? Or mass speech Democratic Congress 20 and say America for whether you are in a blue state or in a red state, whether you are brown, you are white or you are black, we are still one United States of America. And no one claiming to fame. Saka salukra kekeno America for mujidi and bypass all these individuals are no more experience. And then Hillary Clinton against you. There were a lot of Democrats. They were on the bill. But at the end of the day, the American people chose him, regardless of whether he was prepared or he was marketed. So the point I'm trying to establish is here, it's not about how prepared the individual is. It's not about how marketed he is. And in any event, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, you cannot tell me that individual is more prepared than him. And that person is more marketed than him. And that person is more MPP than Kennedy or Agyapong. So I believe, now may I appeal to the delegate of the New Patriotic Party. At this rate, I know the feeling, the sentiment. Oh, you did not buy. I need yes, I'm finding brebio. Oh, akufo-addo, buy na you know. Yes, I didn't buy Premben and me, so akufo-addo, you that be yes, that be any game one. I'll Brazil, Musa dance. I am going to do from. You're here to me.
Yeah, I want to say no.
The beer dance, yes, NBC, Amemwono, Omo, so, Oma Penny John Germany, Mama. Ya mami ni ndi nkomo bi besima enyoma ye di eye sobro etia the New Patriotic Party Nana Danko Akufo-Addo amembu ana na ban no domestic debt exchange program banking sector cleanup and economy ekwa atwe kakra. All of these things I mean to know Ghana for ebimu gina so to abeti a MPP aban. When it says man, it's not being implemented. Nothing has changed. The DS is
religion, LGBTQ, and semi, baby,
Galamsey. And look at the responses of the John Dramani, president. Like a Jessica, as if nothing is happening. I feel crowd and his spokesperson say, oh, evidence, say, Fabra. Can you imagine upon Chroma telling Ghanaians, say, at the time when Akufo-Addo was the president, say, oh, evidence of Galamsey, Fabra and Sani, you two Galamsey in one among. Imagine what would have happened in this country. But yet, Koso. So my point is that, at the end of the day, it is clear. Say you pay a buying and a manukua, omuba bemua, ombetimi amo mana konkai, amo mane tumpoa. It is not the NDC. It is clearly the MPP. Yes, I pay individual. Why you be ame no okaso be magana for mebuno ejumaya. He has a demonstrable record. In any event, in any case, Oman Ghana since independence, Ebey Oman Ghana, Omo Amedi Oman Sunina has a mindset of politics. Amanyosem Kwame Nkrumah was a pure politician with a pure or your ideologist. So if I believe in this, let me pursue it for my political gains. Yenya lawyers, You're diplomats, you're economists, but we have never had an industrialist or a business person. And I believe, say the Omano Econo, we need to move away from that political mindset. Okay, where Ebia Amanyokuobi Eba Bemwa, they must satisfy their political party. The Ombe must adhere to the benefit of their political party and their electoral gains. Say the Mayor, Yekwa Batu Biwa, Medin Kunim. Rather, no, we should have an individual who has a mindset of a business entity. Okay, on my Ghana, you will say the Kamiwe Juma, Kamidebe Juma Mayano. The Kwame na meeting ya shishaya, me workers, KPIs, when key performance indicators, when I'm the my workers can deliver. So that at the end of the day, meeting ya profit. Me profit na meeting ya large company, no, about Akofan for Abem, Obia, Nadri, Muno. So or running the business here efficiency, because with that efficiency, no company need to grow. That is how Ghana must be governed. It's me and the Sanwa, Obia Benyan Chefa. And here say because there is a political mindset in it, no, Obi a journalist, no, praise about a politician. Obi a civil society organizer and answer or belonging to a civil society organization. No, or pray so about joining politics because one of the beginning in Abunibekasi are balance. We have Pierre essence the be a political. A business entity where everybody who is qualified has a role to play. It doesn't matter whether you're a professor, whether you're a journalist, whether you're a doctor, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a teacher. But be a piano or that's also no dear. And that is how this country, I believe, moving forward, no, also and that individual Ghana is blessed with, and that individual MPP is blessed with to have. Honorable Kennedy or Agyapong.
But I say, Kofi, near the home como, the next step was the new Patriotic Party. It to Adeba Kwa, a here and our chimo, Ponoma Asra, if you had no idea home como after January 31st, the way forward. Who here, if said, so Basha, your Bani via India penny fire my dreams, I want also more 20 times, so more 20 times will be and send the watch. To me, Eddie why a young man over social media so now share other camps and come by a course for harmony idea. Any man who ye?
So far, so good. Okay. I believe, say, under the circumstances, the decision by a MPP Penny for National Council say to presidential no 31st in term unprecedentedly. It was a good decision. Okay. It was a good decision because one, I believe, said Dr. Baunia after the 2024 elections. And Kawusha results now, one would have expected saying, take a pause. It be about 6 months. On there, be a visiting professor all over the place and leave politics a bit. So they be a Ghana for get over the defeat because he was the face of the party in the 2024 elections. Unfortunately, that was not the case. And then had to come in. And you know how the system works, how the structures work. Once you say you new delegates, i.e., new executive for the polling station, electoral area constituency. Candidate no interested, so be too frank and no. Also developing interest in placing their delegates. And no, the same be and see that decision was great under the circumstances. And number one, number two, I think there is enough room and opportunity and time for the party to go back and restructure with a figurehead. Say the beya or no bit me, I carry the party along whilst we amend and rebuild broken bridges. Now reconciliation here na we will begin doing that. So in the next 2.5 years or 3 years now party yet me penia yepe so onto franka man na ya so ya ye because the truth of the matter is that without unity it doesn't matter say the honorable Ken and say any other candidate bar winning the 2024 elections 2028 elections the MPP for air can mebuno no can not just MPP mebuno the Ghana for air can pa ne se no kure wo meka kire enye bi mu dede but e no kure no Ghana for mebuno no ene Ghana for dodo no a empese Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia be ba represent MPP in the 2028 elections. They are calling for Ken to come. That is number one. And Tiene na minister delegate say yenye de Ghana for.
Ya ne bi no ka say na survey ben why until kasa.
Survey ni say no na me ne madam fu bi no ka say ko test me sisi. And also me share o Instagram o MPP ni me so MPP ni me so MPP ni pa. Ni mo wan hwe mo mba power. Na me say anything mba power. O so me Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ba mo mba power. Na me say wan yen fa ne mba. So honorable Ken me penasem. Mo de ne ba je beto ama na no na me na makra mo mranti mi ni bi no mapon adwuma honorable good evening say you hu o TV so acho me take a break akra honorable man fa Ken amba ye ntoma mo na no na me kofa flight akọ US Delta ye nam line mu ekọ board mranti mi no so said there that was around even March said there President Mahama ebu man ni there Ghana dey Kennedy Agyapong. It is, I don't need to do any scientific post or research. The Jomu for oko me mechanic shop. Ewo odoko I believe pay kokompe me mechanic. Oni omo sprayer so mo nyina. Ona abusi e ka kire wo. Se mo fa kemda. Ma fa na ba yen to. Me now for more tiptoeing. Me sure mo tie yen. Okwa ye ka kire mo. Ebi m create me ka kire me say yan fa ken am nti o ma nkoto aba no. Yeah. One gentleman be the friend George or catch him so no na kuta list of omo MPP for or da enclave we koto aba no abeka yen so abeto aba we share list no dodo na e wo book ni mu no ni omo abeka che no na enso ani later ko bi say omo say you catch him say man fa ken am ba yen to aba no nti dodo no happen no e no e ye mimi Kofi Amia me busuafo ne me ndamfo ne omo amini omo hia de omo ka kire me no ene ne hia me nkura ma me sa agidie no. So when we are able to do that, it's really jumping that hurdle by electing Honorable Kennedy Agyapong by nothing in Kabomu. Because that, without that unity, and I have said it here the last time I said, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong will need Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia more than anything else. Because Omo and Komo who and support each other. And I believe that Honorable Ken will be MPP's flag bearer. And after that, maybe here Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to also be on board. Yeah. And yes, I win in a bear dempa. In Kabom need a key. In as much as we need Honorable Ken, we also need the unity of the New Patriotic Party because Honorable Ken is also co-independent as an independent candidate. Between you and I, you know, only. Yeah. But so on the ticket of the MPP, obey me a win, especially when we are together. Because when you look at the numbers, almost over 2 million voters didn't turn out to vote for the New Patriotic Party.
Don't you think, sir, now Odin Commander can say Mahama Membuon Koyi, said it been away. Near Binmo can say because Mahama Membuon Koyi and Tino. Whoever MPP representing will be whether Ken and the other person be overwinning election. No,
that's not true.
I did, yeah.
Because the reason why we lost the way we lost, and yes, sir, it be MPP na or there's apathy. It wasn't only because ABI policies, domestic debt program or there maybe will be a candidate be catching. But the candidate as well. Okay. The candidate, because they never mentioned DDEP to me. They didn't talk about really economy to me. In any event, economy, no, what has dramatically changed? The couldn't boa assistant. And you have boa assistant now you see dollar no air bafom. Yes, I call sorry, you know, I say a cost. But the candidate, they have a problem with the candidate. So if you will be able to bring a candidate, a Ghana for pair, I believe that you can do the magic. We shouldn't think, say, we are NDC for the new candidate to be back. For that matter, Obi didn't be no. That is not the conversation that is going on. They need a specific person. Almost here will be Ghana for Shisho will be Ghana for cold door, Obi Amemu, Ghana for cold door be leadership. Ghana for for be leadership. And that person is Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and nobody else. So let's not be mistaken, say, oh, NDC for the be back, and to me represent the will be also back, because that person will be new. No. Ghanaians are not. Look, I said somewhere, say, Ghana for the a year 2 million my NDC, by extension, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, to hold in trust for who they really want.
Okay.
So, me when you say, sir, overwhelming victory in NDC, it was a signal to the MPP, say, look, we are looking for somebody, and that person is in your camp. Openina yehwehwe so beba be di enim with the new Ghana we want, you know. Our makachi, our montuma dem, money. Unfortunately, we didn't do so. So, see, self-confirm the same candidate or even a different candidate, and your Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, Ghanaians will still punish us because that's not who they want. They want Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. And so, Mr. Sam Community, and community, let's converge at the point that MPP must bring Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. And if we are able to do that, and when we do that, trust me, it doesn't matter even if they change the constitution to bring back Mahama, MPP will win the elections. Okay. I am telling you.
These are some of the ways for the convinces when you are marketing. No, you one. When that ballot paper so I'm for a huno. And Simon Kobe, you said, which me I win the power there. My now, the AC crowd, where the Ramahama member said, you will you crowd there. I just over winning hands down. Crying, Mammy Busa said, because I this year, my moon could you know, MPP present will be or more about win, but maybe I will free ban also. Pass Muproso, said they okay. Ghana for the Akonyano Mahama's former president, so my vessel, will be no more Adania Akonyano, their Masadi Panama, or no so about the Twasso. Young Queen, whatever they do say, a dear Nama Ghana for a powerful Rakan, the new will be a bee. And then near my dear old 14 when winter. That's all for baby, and I don't know, call me doctor. That was the first time. We are there, Juma. Can't say, hey, I'm kind of no more nest for the one in a P. Was a day and we shall move a camera, a medical doctor. I feel I'm going to say, me about him to be, but here, media. You bet me, I said, maybe I'll be Fabia, and I can't. A dear, yes,
what's it again? We'll share your political ecosystem landscape. No, no Afro barometer, Savio, the faith and the belief in a year political system, a year all-time low. It's say nuclear any unfulfilled promises, unmet expectations. So your money in Ghana for they are tired. So we share even elections, yeah, course now saying we should vote turnout now was a bit lower. They are tired of the rhetorics. Kasana does. Now you know me ba 24-hour economy. I'm saying you who the upper was one kasa. You are the candidate in one kasa. I feel Onyama Oka and Yebisawa was what. So some of these things are not Ghana for a loose faith in the political system and our leadership. The American area can when I mean can bro we say it's not just the name. It's a movement that represents a particular spirit. And that spirit is truth. And his honesty.
I remember I said before some people call for more I think one of the conferences. No leader, assistant region. Lawyer was this one when in the catch and say, yo, Acho, Ghana politician about open Ghana for deal. On one Kennedy Japan, I'm there. That was this one when was it? I'm telling you. One can one can in Yano. Over there, I didn't perform, but too low. Now back on Mujini Depaya, His Excellency, the former president, and another Akufo-addo. Now, Akufo-addo Mujidi Depa, but Toba and a Koba said double salary. banya no si chwa mugu mo ma wi esika eni ba e ho so na aya asa nti ono no call form no na de na shift call ken ho say papa we waka no kre o ka sese nso obeye ka sese nso obeye nti enya me nwanwa sa ase afei say de o ka e movement ade ni push it say tsunami no
every single day
I said the beer one will be adding a niche it's all about Ken it's all about Ken the bit me I had and the Ken the bit me I had na me ya me bisa say MPP for one penny for or more I work great much political parties are formed purposely for political power. One na said the before no say
well like I say and now oh my man me din komo omuni and this is what I found out me who me din komo me hu ni Ebumu wants to prove a point to add on to their political CV say oh yeni ye de
asumesi bae
baumia bae anko yenu yesa e repeating bio Emma delegate for a turn. That is number one. Number two, they also accept, the Baumia camp accept, say there's a credibility crisis, there's a branding issue, there's an all-time low for demand of MPP's candidates in MPP's political history. But Omo again say Omo wonyansano to market him enough. That is why almost celebrated the fact that Yekoto abandoning them, so they can have enough time to be able to market the man. And to see Tobiano, they will be able to fill in the holes and plug in all of these shortfalls at Papano, so that at the end of the day in 2028 in Yeko Abatona, and then they also have this understanding says since the NDC is going to present a new candidate, that is why Sobeti Amukasi he's been marketed. So Amukasi say because he has been marketed, and I'm saying Bibiba say I can't pay. So they think that he has been marketed already. And yet to me the neighbor near marketing a mall, he'll be able to fill the rest of nine and I don't know whoever coined that. So the reason why Penifoni Bino still no Omu pushes Dr. Maumyambrano, a been a markation, and these are facts. They believe that they can work on the candidates so that Ghanaians will back.
After 31st of January, young fans Dr. Bamboo Baumiana with all these number of months and years a day enemy, I want to fix Emma on win election.
You see, one, and you may be MPP as a political party or before as a government, there will be a comparison. The mobile and MPP by far will beat the NDC. I don't know. Again, the challenge is the candidate, not the party.
Yeah.
Because, and let me catch you, say, the candidate for the last 16 years. So we are going to the last 20 years. He has been in our faces. The beer Dr. Baumia from 2008, 2009, I started saying my lectures. 2010, every year he was giving lectures, hitting way here and there, or bobo way, so consistently. So later no, you be GDA say or your economic risk wizard or not the economy. It doesn't matter how he was painted to be the messiah of economic savior. Unfortunately, no, Mekai on the 7th of February, UPSA, Tama Yetuabewi no be man statement, no. That book, that's what I made them see Mekai every now and then. Saying Oshe page 63 and no admit say economy no Ukrainian farmer no. Na a portion of the economy and the demand formalization of the economy. When it comes to the physical and monetary now, the physical name the minister Ofuyata and then the monetary to Addison. And yes, economics you know. The pillars of economic policies no fiscal policy and monetary policy. Digital policy or digital economy formalization of economy really are not the pillars, because two decisions in physical, and then they determine on money, our revenue and expenditure. Yesika no se dodo a yindi no the dollar no benya hodin no Bank of Ghana monetary Addison. So if he was not managing that, it means that he was not managing the economy. Ghana for no moon way and they were never told. Now you are telling us say no, you were not in charge. That goes to dent his credibility. And that is why I'm sorry he is struggling, because now all the can be Ghana for how do we believe you?
About the economy
and the question no said o mampeni onunafo bi kan ya o mampeni John Joman ni mahama in 2024. I say bibia is about the economy. No use the word be stupid. It's all about the economy. Ye call ye buy ye bibia is about the economy. Say economy no so no. Sisi no o credibility no so no aye bibia wo ho. And then the other factors, religious factors, ethnic or tribal factors, we can never downplay in politics. And also, so for me, I believe that it's not just about fixing the party, but also changing the candidates and presenting a candidate who has an overwhelming support of the Ghanaian people, not just MPP, but the Ghanaian people, because any day you be here almost to come and join forces and vote for us. So yeah, they may park say come on the whole day. Yeah. One thing will stand out. Yeah. That MPP do not have a choice and might not have a chance in 2028 if they don't present Kennedy or Agyapong. That is where I come from, and that's what I believe. And that belief emanates from what the people are telling me, who I know. The Omoka chairman. Nti ebio aya desredie MPP delegate etu ahene na esi ahene for the best sem wani di mu na obrase mu amanyoko ni hia tumi Ghana for ekon doyen omo peyasem na emu no nyoma bi na anhihye yi. We have an opportunity to fix things in 4 years, and that opportunity will start with electing Honorable Kencity Agyapong as the flag bearer of the new patriotic party. The akech ni yenyina yenyafo yebe di ye ho nkomo yebe ba ye nchen o ye fie mu yebe ba ye nchen ewo edwom ye offices ye afuo mu bebi bia ye wo bia yebe ba ho ne ye ho abedidi nkomo ne ate ye ho ase esanse ye do ye ho ye ndi achinye na ye timi di Honorable Kenaba na MPP yaba kosem ene di ye timi aye no ya toa so. MPP has a record of making sure so the policies and programs by that record is there for the new patriotic party. Kufuor had the record. Akufo-addo also had the record against Honorable Kencity Agyapong. Or no, not a record in government, but a record as an individual. Imagine what he can do with the backing of the state's resources. So, Mestre, say MPP delegates, Mubobo Modia Namashe. Na yekoto aba na me yadoma January 31st no a bebi a Honorable Kendano mato amano me nyame eba nyame amba na o ma me ahoden a me delegate mato amano.
Let us say one or two messages na ento aso regards to your panelists. If the party leadership try to manipulate the process to bring Dr. Bawumia to lead the party, I tell you, they will have a shock of their lives. Doctor is, in my opinion, not a natural politician. His actions and inactions cost MPP that miserable defeat in 2024. Let us give Ken the nod to redeem the party and the country from the shackles of poverty. Solomon Kwe ena ede we by opening eda say and open say wadwan dey now so with the old thoughts about Beckham. Emmanuel McCarthy, he says, good morning. If doctor is not even a viable material at his own backyard, then where are we going to sell him? Also text message. Rasivas Asari says, those who believe that the party should present a candidate who has been marketed because of the previous national elections should have called for an amendment to the party's constitution that a candidate who participated in the previous national election shall be presented unopposed.
Sorry. That was a good one.
That was a good one. So, what you say, yeah, market to be nice and car, and one I was here in the Cordia, and then Anka more call for conference, and my amendments, an hour.
Oh, that, and I say anything the argument is flawed.
Yeah. And
it's flawed in the face of a history. It's not about the marketability, it's a sellability.
Okay.
We wait to me a market here. Abohude Rubia, Netuba Bonde Kona. But a do Juma, whether Nipak or Bibabeto, that is what is important. You wait to me a year, a dear thing, nah. I can say more against a ding na.
My main one was asking me, and son of my 20. A bit more cancer and Kawako election. And you be a sorry for Abusia or Ireno Ma or Namfu as a soul with Jinawichi. And son of Omar Kam or the Babacam. And tea. Say, yeah, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia on one Casa Impona sorry and the backyard. Went to me and pull vote and I'm free horn. Actually, someone who I'm with a problem, beba. That almost argument, they say, and yes, I because I didn't know their party, the entire country, and is see it. O me mooni na, and yes, or no quan ne foul. As I seminal. Who want to say?
Me, baby, but 2008, no Ghana. Na. Na apathy or party. In fact, na mete Kwashima Elang. At the time, of any make as well can make a chon. 2 young people. Baku was about 11 years and the other was about 9 years. Baku penini catch a clan and say, the mekaiso catch no canon cremu. Kufuo is small nanado sani. Kufuo mpe nanado asen. My point is that it was that bad, say, even young people came to realize, say, there was a problem, there was a rift. For the Ashanti region, Timikache say, yeah, Tuabano.
Yeah.
And now we say, Bibi Mua Kono. And Caribbean, Nipabe 17. Some people say, Omorani for. So my point is that there were issues at the time. But even that, no, you win first round. Second round, they couldn't determine until say a constituency gave the presidency to the late president time. What I say. So for me, something fundamentally was wrong with the candidates, and it wasn't about just the hardship at the day, and now the economy. Or the misgovernance of Omampeni Akufo-Addo. No. There were a lot of positives. Free SHS Omekem. So, what are you talking about? A national apprenticeship program, a MPPA program, a Jumera, a MPPA program. And I can mention domestic debt exchange program and buyer, and then now finance minister Timikache say, oh, yeah, debt to GDP, no, reduce. Emma World Bank in their report indicated say, your GDP, no, Ghana for sue, you know, and no home for so. Omoka saw mobile, a bank for now, your job license, on the at the moment. What is on the amount? Omo bank, you know, you already because they are not banking for the liquidity, no, any are they back to their job?
No.
So what? So if you are telling me, are you saying that not Ghana for means winning? They knew, but at the end of the day, they were saying, say, candidates no amodene ba ye no adabraka. Ye pese obi ebetua MPP nyuma paswa. Modi amontwen na monkofa kan nedim. But 4 years ye nche say ye kan ahead dem 1 year
1 year
Akabe 2 years.
2 years.
2 years no nyame be ma ya hoden ye be wonkwam. And you know, for me, it was not just about the issues. And knowing very well say you been here ye hu de bia no. The entire Ghana for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia no. And ye rocket science. and yeah, they know why they didn't vote for him. It's been better Kasefidie so and our TV so to itemize the things. No, I won't do that. Ghanaians know. That is why I continue to plead with MPP delegates. Say, more far Honorable Kennedy Agyapong Embra. You realize said the air can no correct. When you don't elect as the flag bearer. A bit tempo when we need the presidency. You will see in this country the euphoria and the ecstasy and then the happiness on mine because you presented even Kennedy Agyapong as your candidate, even not a winner of the presidential elections.
Maybe now conclude Ediaman. We're flanking ourselves for Jesus. Good morning, Honorable. The argument of just 9% is needed by Dr. Bawumia and supporters is baseless. In the first round of 2008 presidential elections, Nana-Addo had 49.1%. He needed just a little over 0.9%, less than 1% in the second round to win. What happened? The outcome is history. Penny, say, na a penno dear. May the enemy one cry and say, actually, Musana doctor, one can so keep Hakana. My son is out as a doctor, I can't if you also can be. This one says, how Ghana find itself now can be linked to the Bible time when, because of Jonah, the sea was troubled, and Jonah was threw into the sea, it was calm. Why not us also, you can say a sacrificial lamb? So I'm the friend of Museum before now, one sacrificial lamb. I'll bet you power, mamma. Friend sacrificial lamb. Oh, but you mama, I feel more than the answer pepper and answer more pay.
Oh, I think with time, and I made the kind of campaign all ECCR. A lot of people expected so all core campaign we there. And you might be BBO. But clearly, if I was telling an executive in Germany branch, say on the pay attention that the attack will reverse, that the other camp will start attacking Kennedy Agyapong. We can do 2 days. Exactly. So yes. So I'm not panicking.
No. You see, just I grown on tears. I'm not coming for this. So those days I'm not can the young man show down. Then you winning. It was to prove a point. So I'm memuntem. No meaning say. On one casa, no, I always say, until we and some of you know, you relax.
At all, you accepted and you join
it. Accepted and join poppy champagne. We just sure say, none need that so passes, I said, or be winning. But now it's answer, or no, what Bemwa, or Lusuntin, so go with all the force. I'll be the election. You're quite all losing on money. Did you at the move? We'll say now, 2 missiles from all angles.
You are very uncomfortable.
I want to tell say. No mistake, na be our baby. And at this time, can also why I come. No, grown baby.
I'm personally excited for him.
Yeah.
Because elections, elections are cheap, and we know the toll it can have on you as an individual, and then your family. Until the composure, I'm so excited for him that he's calm, or kind of message. And he, in fact, I know, say you're setting it up.
Yeah.
Say, now you can be so that you will provoke him. Or say, Mate, and then Madame also, Mate, Wadano also. Me bonya me empire, so uncle so man holding no man in him, dear. Now, or dragon for a woman, and Emboroso. Said the MPP delegate, so I come. Ne come, means every Kangana for a comma should be.
Mammy, I am concluding that. Franco Trading Enterprise for NI and one pair. They didn't come. So, pay appliances at all. Say a year TV, iron, microwave, a few refrigerator, be our pay. One it will be a hormone air tone. When himself Franco, what shall I say with phones? It's not gonna phone himself phones in a Franco or daily or matraho. As I see a casino, on the CCTV cameras and so on bar. A ball man for by few formation and some family. CCTV cameras and our audio and our video, our Sakabia. You are good to go. And Wakayashan. So go online, francotrading.com. Money in our main office, no other brack, I want to rock the cinema and a share anymore. I think one will be a suit, or will be a hatch, or will be a circle. A dorsal, what the NSA just call them. na baby a ojina no omo direct to nko omo outlet bia eben omo se men kan kire say wo to ade no so omo dey say obeje receipt if say problem ba ho na the bar omo ni problem bia omo ma up to 40% discount and them ahodo a beto nyina ntifre 0555939311 0555939311 Okuseku says, I don't want to mention names, but believe me, your panelist today has concretely added to whatever we have heard before his submission today, and the MPP fraternity must resolve from today that if they want political power, then it should be Ken and no other. He has spoken with unbiased facts, which must be listened to in good faith for yes.
I'm assuming
yes. And about an individual beer is about MPP.
Oh, of course.
So me now analyze what I'm now canning in a year. Now can you now look we say open MPP party then ye individual be and Tina Wotia. Because in some our canning in ano, it won't say o can the cock can hold it. But they're not the Bebuama party, no so to me a Gina, maybe I was saying Gina from one more when my ding como from Como cost will be ending. Just say why I say, and I do our analyzing penny for only Dr. Baumianam and Omontia see any point on person approval. You've made me so day for coming.
Thank you.
Now, a sorry, sir.
In conclusion, a BOA this way, it says, you will be a young MPP, KNT. MPP adomi nyaminti nti mepe se ni nua bia ana me papa bia ne ba join MPP ana join MPP no so be nya MPP mu adodode ni. We can only have that when we have power. We can only have power when we present Kencity Media Agyapong. Nti mesre na makoso asem maybe a many opportunity bia no. I know delegates are grumbling with the fact say should we repeat a candidate, should we try a new one? We won't try a new person.
Yeah.
Nipa no no na will feel that. Campaign bia wo demubi. Assemble kebi mamo. Bibia oni mu na eye. Nti mesre mu. Ambrase mu ne ani die mu a. Yen koso ndi kan ho nkomo. Enkyere ye nuanom. Ya dofo mu omo ani omo ye adwuma. Na ye ma MPP delegates nya we say we na Ghana for hwehwe no. We na Ghana for kondo no. We na Ghana for hia. Na yetimi de ne ba epema yedwuma ayemmere yedwuma so yemmere power no yebenya esan se bi me pe oman Ghana yi ne mo ne kura wom ne se eba omanpani John Dramani Mahama dia ya na etosin kakra etosin nti yebesre ebio ye bompa ya yembo bi ma eno ehia me yembo bi ma Honorable Kencity Agyapong na me ma na hoden oma ni nche omano mo akukudro se de be ya omano adesoa no a ewo ho no a betimi yo se ye sesa no no ya me betimi amano san nimdie no bebre na wetimi dia sesa omano esan se omano here a new direction. We need a new direction. Ghana yentimi nkoso anye de ye the indiscipline is too much. We need a leader who is bold, who is fearless, who is firm, who is a disciplinarian, who will ensure that the right things are done. Ontimi nyina about otwasa no to na or establish a new Ghana. Say the subsequent leaders na ebeto abama omu nyina no. Yebetimi ayusu ono asusudua. Aka say this is the kind of leader we want, because when we had Kencity Agyapong as a leader no, this is what he was able to do. So we need his kind again. Semester some yebenesa na Ghana sesa. Isa say kuntu hwani ani nchia na eko. Yekodo moa beye infeduo no 20 years abroad. We are back here in Ghana.
Kofi, mame no ase.
Mr. Dance.
Me dance pa for coming. Kofi am ya join the MI today's agenda bro. Long weekend mo na away production team na yenda mo nyina mo ase. Yenda focus. Elda kwesi nensi yenda ase. Afi yenda pentay elikem ene o mo aka nyina yenda obi ase. Medi e de ya amofa wachi. Nyame ya adoma on Tuesday anopa. Ibishia akra.